Hey, babe. Can you bring me that coconut water that's on this water? Did you leave it?
I'm Africa.
Oh, nah.
Descending from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, whoa, so I'm Africa. Ancient descending from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. You slow mo, 2 feet, pedal them bike slow. Me speed by 1 with 2 feet and then strike you in a cycle. Papa wheelie is on stealing again, but it's a sun charge for the big job. I'm on raw. Ancestors lessons with more crystals and diamonds. You get ones came with resources, switch them to find them. Empire seeking the teeth and thinking we don't mind them. Still boy, we not just mama Africa dry. No boy, cause I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, whoa, so I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas.
Hitler knew something that we're just waking up to. The Europeans in Israel are the fake Jews. The very ones who enslaved, beat, and raped you had an agenda, and Hitler knew it, so he tried to bake you. Muammar Gaddafi, he was killed by the Clintons. North and South America, both stormed by the Britons or British, with intentions to stop the conquest of the Portuguese, the Spaniards, and the Frenches. Indigenous to every land, black gold in every hand, black souls that's willing to send you all to the medic van. Reppin' for my brethren, ancestors to every fan. Legend has it gotta do more to you than the metal can. 400 years neglected and put into the peasants' hands. The parasite, troglodyte, Edomite, lesser than. Use books as a weapon and spiritual oppression, and taught us self-division so we never will come together, and we African.
I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, whoa, so I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas.
The new normal is now the present, what we knew is the past. It's realer than fact, and one I pray we mentally grasp. It's evident the signs are everywhere, clearer than glass. Don't get left behind to live in the past. Better beware the soul robbers out lurking and they stealing them fast. You look empty, I'm trying to fill you with gas before they fill you with cap and find your wig split, slumped in your lap, forced a nap cause you were living in cap. Don't let that IG fool you, hijack your mind and turn YouTube you, or let the media sadly buffoon you. It's the world we live in, that's what they say while the search still spins. And press to God, don't decrease our sins, especially for them ends. Because in God we trust, that's why we pray to it and die if we must. Then turn around and use it to roll up our weed where the dust getting high, licking the squeeze and bust.
I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, whoa, so I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas.
From the motherland or the aspect, stop feeding these false fucking masters, force feeding disaster. The people planted grafters, lay foundation, raise the rafters. Every system, every religion, ask your pastors. I'ma ask my ancestors, here and after. Who chitter chatter, tell me follow bitter valor on the alabaster bastards. Colonized bastards, urging me to blast it with proper propaganda, faster to the war like plaster for concealing our divinity, culture and the liberty, disrupting universal symmetry, disgracing imagery of original epitome. Resources, Written literally, black woman, a man of land, hold the code of the mystery of life through the history of strife. While delivery in sight, starving Vader win attrition, win the fight. Reclaim resources, replenish enemy life. Refrain from detours from source energy light. I'm African by name, blood, and birthright. That's right. I fight by day and night.
I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, so I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. You slow mo, 2 feet, pedal them bikes slow. Me speed by 1 with 2 feet and then strike unicycle. Papa Williams on stealing again, but it's a sun charge for the Benjas. I'm on raw. Ancestors with both crystals and diamonds. Wicked ones came with resources, so somewhere to find them. Empire seeking the teeth and thinking we don't mind them. Still boy, you're not just mama Africa dry. No boy, cause I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, so I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas.
Hold on, man. This is a vengeance video. You got to put Red 9 in there. You got to put a vengeance in there. Yeah.
I'm taking this out and putting that in.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Cross promotion.
Oh,
Hey, man, I told you, man, he the joint BDP, man. He ain't tell us.
Yeah, man. Son,
He the joint BDP. He down with Boogie Down Production. He money making Mitch right now. My man, something great is down with us.
They politics as usual, suspect the usual, agenda mutual, suspend the mutual, who speak in any universal law, in every music hall, reach streets like final calls, stay touching on they vital flaws, so those entitled fall, hands never out of your devil gets no monologue, never mind they chatter fog, check holy catalog, God versing, conversing, now that's dialogue, may not always be right, but better know I'm never wrong, starving out the chattel halls, feeding off the battle blogs, chasing tail like scattered dogs, got your young bulls chasing matadors, for sports, NASCAR, MASCAR on your avatar, virtually, got y'all,
Going around and around.
The new millennium, David Walker, liberation interwoven by your favorite author, all because so many struggled in the land conquered, call it colonized, genocide, Columbine, now they occupy Wall Street, but Wall Street is where they sold Africans like we was raw meat, now they sell stock in companies that all cheat, they advertise and get us hot till we all sleep, I won't stop shooting shots till we all free, lyrically I write crack with raw speech, then I deliver the communicate with raw beats. So if you need a freedom fighter, you can call me. Indeed, a freedom writer, and I'm all G, gangsta, gorilla, gloriously godly. And I'm still screaming free the land, knowing that liberation in my pen.
Like son just said, I see you chasing your tail. Big dog wolfing, looking crazy as hell. Got your weight up, say you breaking the scale, but when you make a new sale, we taking 2 L's. That's lame, same thing, the statement to tell. No game, the poor sports is flagrant as hell. Car transport in court take you straight to a sale. No passport, you bros vacation in jail. Oh well, when the well run dry, and it's been a minute since raindrops done fell from the sky. With no cash flow, who know what the hell wanna try? Take a slice, take your life just for crumbs from the pie. Selfish greed seems to leave the people with nothing. Some eat to live while others feed from glutton. Covered full of muffins with bread in the oven. Starvation plagues the nation, heads are suffering. Man struggling to push the panic button. Kings stand on business, peasants stand on nothing. Hands in their pocket, mouths full of bluffing. Won't put in work but a beg for justice. Mean mugging, who you supposed to be thugging? Bully on the block but be asked to the government. Broken down, let's expose these clowns. Running circles in a circus.
Going around and around. Yeah, shaman. Yo. Hey yo, the other day, I watched World War Z. And 28 days later, it occurred to me, I started making correlations, and it wasn't hard to see that we sick sleepwalking. How can it be? They expose their plans and then hypnotize us with TV, put radiation in our phones. They got drones, obviously it's war. Of course it is, dog. Look how they lead us, carcinogens in the food, guzzle aspartame by the leaders. Turn my kings to them niggas, turn my queens to them divas. Gave bullets to all my leaders, so blunt how they mistreat us. For all y'all that don't believe the dollar here to deceive us. Love is love, love, peace to you non-believers. I gotta make my route to be out before they reach us. Revolution underground, I'm like Harriet through the speakers. And fuck college, they ain't trying to hire my teachers. I learn more reading a book while I burn a gram of the Chiba. I reach a point where I could give a fuck less and impressing none of you bastards with material success. They made Yeshua a cracker, put the devil in the dress. I confess, this the type of shit that be having me stressed. It's written potent, non-fiction that got you open. Spit that super stat and swaggerlistic revolution dope shit. Shaman.
All right, peace and life, power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Placement Knowledge is born. Your host, Knowledge One Line. I got the trifecta in the building. You understand what I'm saying? When I think about hip hop, when I think about MCing, when I think about adult contemporary hip hop, where I think about revolutionary black godhood, I envision these three brothers right here. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get the best of the best in the building. Right here, right now, right to my left, the one who keeps one in the chamber. You understand what I'm saying? You think y'all getting on the track together, but at the end, you gonna be wishing you did something better with your life if your rhymes ain't right. The General Outlaw RBG's own Mike Chambers in the building. Right above him, we got one of the most soulful, most versatile, most masterful flows. He flows so good, his son said, I'm rhyming Tupac. Watch out, son. I got this. Hold it. You understand what I'm saying? The antithesis, the example of a man, of a father, of a husband, hardworking, motivating, inspiring, leading the next generation in complete perfection. That's why he dealt with 360 degrees. Let's give it up for my brother Anray 360 in the building. And I don't even know how to describe him no more. We used to be real close. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm glad he is so far because it matches with his name, the incomparable Red Fidel, the one who blazes mics, who blazes stages, who galvanizes minds all at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? So when you hear him rhyme, when you hear him speak, when you hear him build, when you hear him teach, he's a strategist. He is a warrior mind with a soulful spirit. And a heart that is genuine, that'll uplift you. You understand what I'm saying? Just look at it. You understand? You uplifted right now. You don't even know you lifted up, but he'll lift you up. You understand what I'm saying? And get you straight if you crooked out here in the building. So let's give it up for the incomparable Red Fidel, one of the co-founders of adult contemporary hip hop.
Yes, sir.
Don't know,
yes, sir.
Know. Welcome, my brothers, man. Peace to the gods, man. How y'all be?
Yes,
Peace
sir.
to the gods.
Good. All is well. How you?
Peace, everybody. Good.
I'm working on my tan, man. You know what I'm saying? They say the blacker the berry, the better the podcast. You understand? So I had to go outside and get me a little rock. So, what y'all been up to, man? Let's go there first, man. You know, we see July the 10th. We about to get there, but it's been a minute, man. I ain't seen y'all since I seen y'all. You understand what I'm saying? So what's the word, man? What's been up, man? Mike Chambers, talk to us first, man. We just go with you.
Well, um, as you just stated, you see the flyer, July 10th, the 360 experience. So that lets you know what's been going on. You know what I mean? Going the brothers up top, Anray 360, the experience and the incomparable Red Fidel have been putting in a lot of work. You know what I mean? With our solo projects, with group projects, um, with with the Solarians, with the Vengers, you know what I mean, and with other individuals as well.
For sure.
So once you put your work in, you know, it start to pay off. So on July 10th, one of the shows, one of the rewards from the good brother Anray 360, you know what I mean, is paying off. So we just been staying busy. Trying to stay fresh, man, trying to stay young. You feel me? They try to put an age limit on hip hop. You know, like you said, Red Fidel with the adult contemporary hip hop. We're just making sure the music stay mature.
Sure.
You know, like you said, Anray is very soulful. You know what I'm saying? The 360-degree spectrum of entertainment. So yeah, man, we just been, staying busy. I'm just happy to be a supporting member. You feel me? Cast, like you said, the Robert Ory on the team. You know what I mean? Just playing my position, man. But yeah, man, just good to see my brothers out doing their thing. And anytime I step out to support them, man, I'm there. You feel me? No hesitation.
Most deaf. Anray 360, man. Keep it 360 with us, man. People be like, let's keep it a buck, man. Keep it 360 with us, man. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I say 360 because 100%. That's not even halfway. Halfway would be 180 degrees. And about face. We taking it all the way back around, like the song said, going round and round. You know what I mean? We eternal with it. We put a little twist in it also though. With the adult contemporary hip hop, with the one in the chamber for Mike Chambers. And the we can't say adult contemporary hip hop without saying the incomparable Red Fidel, you know what I mean? The versatility and the journey he takes you on. So the 360 experience is, that infinity sign. It's an eternal thing. We the past, the present, as well as the future. We are ancestors. We living right now, and we are the future generations. You know what I mean? We carrying the torch in honor of them. Like when I pour out libations, I say I pour out for, the ancestors, and I pour out for the future generations. That way, one day they may pour out for us. So we pouring out with the 360 experience, you know what I mean? We pouring out libations through music, sonically. And Mike Chambers has always been a part of that with, since we came together with Son the Great and formed the Mighty Vengers. Mike always supported my music. He supports shows, he comes out. He's one of the most, gifted artists, but he's also a loyal brother, consistent brother. And when you put me and Red Fidel together, Knowledge Born, you introduced us, and man, Voltron formed. You know what I'm saying? Voltron formed, and we knew that each other was
Y'all
gifted.
are soul trying now. Okay.
Soultron, we Soultron,
Soul
man.
There you
trying.
go,
The
Solarian Soultron.
Solarians, yeah.
Soul
We came together to form the Solarians, and Red started really pushing his music on a solo vibe, and say, yo, you need to get on this 360. You need to get on this as well, man. People are taking a notice to me, and they need to take notice to your music as well. And we wanted to do that. excuse me, do that for the whole clique. So we looked around and see who was ready to move, and we said some people we're gonna take with us. You know what I mean? We eventually the whole crew gonna move with us, but you know, sometimes you got to lay the foundation. You got to lay the road work. We got to be the pathfinders, so everybody else can know that the path exists. So we find the path and be like, okay, this is the way. Now everybody going. We the Solarians, so we at the frontier of this thing, and we're moving. And the 360 spirit is all of us collectively. Everybody who's poured into me and contributed to who I am. You know what I mean? Ubuntu. I am because we are. I'm nothing without my brothers. I'm nothing without my sisters. I'm nothing without everybody who's poured into me, who came before me and gave me guidance, and those who supported me. So I get a chance with this show on July 10th to showcase my brothers, to showcase my family, to showcase the village, to showcase good music.
That's what it's about.
And, incomparable. You've been everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? I think I seen you modeling on Pluto or something. You understand what I'm saying? Whipping mics,
Hey,
melting mics. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot going on, my brother, man. Fill us in, man. Fill the family in, man.
hey, man, you wild, man. That's you. You can tell you my Gemini twin, man. You for real. Nah, man, it's been a journey and it's crazy, man. I was sitting here thinking prior to you introducing me to Anray, which led to me and Mike and the rest of the Avengers coming together. I don't know if people really know me and your history because we was already about a year and a half in because we had our own podcast going. Like, that's what I don't think people know that me and you had a regular podcast where I was working with New Order at the time and we had emerged and remember we interviewed some really serious people and the time like me and Knowledge really put some interviews together with some good people, some real people that's putting the work in the community in different states. I mean, from Fred Hampton Jr. to which one is it? Which one is the Cocoa Brothers? What's the one we interviewed? The Cocoa Brother, not Steel. I think it was Steel, right? It was Steel, right? I think it might have been Steel to a few people that we've had the opportunity of actually sharing energy and time with. And man, I really cherish that, brother. Man, you really had some good interviews with some good people, laying the foundation for our podcast, and to see it culminate and come to what we're doing now is that's what it's about, man. And on a musical perspective, man, I just think that first I want to say, Mike said I said Robert Ory, and Mike said he glad to be a supporting player. The beautiful thing, really honestly, man, by Mike, and I can say it to you straight, my brother, like you supporting, but I always tell Anray that Mike really got his own shine. Like Mike, you got something special that you contribute, that you do with music, that it is like it's this word, and it's this word exactly. It's complex and it's simple. You have a simplex type of flow and style. There's a there's a simplicity about it that is graspable, but at the same time, it has a depth about it, and that's what's beautiful about it. So I can't wait really to you really bask in the light that you actually emit, because sometimes when we emit in light, we don't have time to stand under it. But you really can't help but stand under it if you emit it because it's coming from you. And when you recognize that you actually are under your own light, bro, I'm telling you. So that's what me as an artist and as your comrade, I want to help bring more even to you. Me and Anray, we push each other in that way. I see his what they call his all spark, like in Decepticons when the whole thing is about the all spark, and we know that's us. That melanin cube. I see that, but I see that with you as well, man. Like you support, but at the same time, bro, you your own Stargate, you your own thing. Me and Anray always talking about Mike real. So, and even our last we did, like I'm ready to see you like really get your songs and put your project out there and really do your thing, because they ready for you too, brother. They ready for you too. And I think you being by Anray's side, getting that. Anray is one of the people. What Anray does is he's so connected to his soul, and that translates into the type of music that his ear gate prefers. I'm connected to my soul, and and what I bring, and then he and I come together and just kind of like let them things just dance with each other. And you bring such a discipline to the table, like you're a strategist. So it's everybody got their own element, and that's not to actually negate our Vengeance brothers, but I'm addressing the triad that's on the podcast right now. So man, like everybody their own thing, man. So I just had to say that because it was on my spirit. Because bro, you support, but you are your own sensei in what you do. And I want you to know that for real though, dude. Like I really mess with your craft and how you convey it and express it for real. And the fact that you support me and what I'm doing with this whole adult contemporary hip hop. It's times, man, I don't be knowing what I'm gonna do with it, but I keep it going. And I've been doing this since me and you met. Remember Knowledge? Like I've been talking about this for a long time. I mean, Knowledge was there when I first did the 555 album. I remember letting him hear, we reviewed it, like we talking about 2020, 2019. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how long I've been knocking at that door. And to see that my brothers, that with me, it feels so much better to have, a battalion with you. Because we had war. We had a spiritual war, as Anray always say. We had a mental war with the ignorance that's out there, because that ignorance is a spirit. And we also had a physical war with them trying to control our bodies and control our bodies through the food and through everything else that we voluntarily actually pumping into our bodies. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on, man. And I just think that we ready now. We at a place where we coming from so many different angles. And come July 10th, y'all gonna be in for a treat. Anray show, the 360 experience is gonna be crazy, and I'm gonna start saying that from now. People say keep it 100. From now on, we keeping it 360. Period.
Right. 360.
Keeping it 360. Hey, keep it 360 with me.
Keep that shit 360, nigga. Keep that shit 360.
Hey, Red, before we move, man, I want to make sure you give a shout out to your man that you brought on here. You know what I'm saying? Your other partner in adult contemporary hip hop. I know that was a tough one for you. You know what I'm saying? Twan Mac, man, he meant so much to so many people. You know what I mean? Every time I look around, I find somebody else. It's like, man, adult contemporary hip hop. I think of you, and I think of the God, man. So take a few seconds, man. Talk about your relationship with the brother real quick.
Yeah, Twan Mac was one of the first artists that I actually connected with that did this same kind of music. I ran across him on IG, and I saw that actually who hooked me up with Twan Mac or plugged me to him was Stick from Dead Prayers. Shout out to the God. He hit me and he was like, yo, check this page out. And when I went to the page, I seen this dude said he did adult contemporary hip hop. So I reached out to him, and he was in Kansas. That's where he was, where he's from. And we vibed, man. It was an instant connection. He and I was supposed to do some music. He kept saying, yo, Red, let's do something. And so he was supposed to send me some tracks, but he was busy doing his solo project and all that too. And I was doing the 555 and compiling my own stuff together. And the biggest regret I have is that we never got a chance to actually share a song and do what we needed to do before he transitioned to the ancestors. And that was a hard one because I had just spoke with him probably 2 weeks before that happened. And I was like, damn, I wonder what Twan was, what happened to Twan. So then I got a call from a mutual friend that said, actually Minister Server. I think it might have been Minister Server hit me and was like, Twan Mac passed away. And I was like, what? I just talked to the dude. So yeah, come to find out he was battling something that was some type of ailment he had. And he mentioned it to me because he went on tour with Speech from Dead Prayers. I mean, not Speech from Dead Prayers, but Speech from Arrested Development. That was his guy. So they went on a European tour. He was all touring with Speech and doing everything. And but he was sick at the same time because a friend of mine seen him in show, and they was like, yo, your man was like limping all on stage and he wasn't looking right. And I was like, for real? And that's when it first hit me that, yo, whatever he got was quite serious. So he ended up passing from it like that, bro. So it just made me really count my days as blessings and really make me go hard and what it's trying to leave as a legacy in music, but more so as a legacy of what I mean to people as a father, as a friend, as a husband, as a grandfather, and as a comrade to those who I consider dear to me. To me, that outweighs music on every level because the music gonna be there, but what are they gonna say about you and me when we gone? That's most important to me. You know what I'm saying? What did I leave behind in the minds of those who had access to me? You know what I'm saying? And that's what's important. For real.
It's definitely important, man. You know, even to hear you saying he was limping around, that you know, his energy and his spirit is like
Yeah.
large. You
Like,
understand what I'm saying? So
cause when you see his videos, he was everywhere. Like, he's a
yeah,
very energetic dude. He was. I remember he finally retired from his job to pursue it full time because he was doing something. I think he was like a real he was like in a white collar type of occupation where he really did something that required a lot of his energy. And when he was like, "Yo, brother Red," he always just called me brother Red. He's like, "Brother Red, I'm about to do it full time, man." You know, his energy always was elated when I spoke with him. He was like, "Yo," and he always was a fan of my music too. He's like, "Brother Red, I love such and such." And I was like, "Man, I like what you're doing too." And he had still more of a golden era sound. So me getting with him was nostalgic because he was really recreating that golden era sound. It was that what was going on in that kind of 90s era, but it had a twist of newness on it because he was older, and it was just good. He had characters. He had this video where he was like dressed in a cape with a mask, and he was very comical in the whole nine. So he brought a comedic twist to his adult contemporary hip hop, but he still had messages in it. And I thought that was very ingenious because it was like he was Chuck and Flav in one. You know what I'm saying? And that was very how he made that happen. So I was really looking forward to getting on the track with him. But unfortunately, you know, the Egon has something in store bigger, you know.
Mike, you know, I called you on the day I got the news when I got the word of H. Brown. You know what I'm saying? And we on a day like Kwame Ture's birthday. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you like my revolutionary elder in a lot of regards. So when I got that call, I was calling to console you, and you know what I'm saying. And I thought you had got the word already, and you was like, "Yo, man, hold on." Like, you know what I'm saying? We had to take a pause in that moment. You know what I mean? And understand what that means. So you know, what does it mean for you to lose a revolutionary elder but gain a revolutionary ancestor? You know what I mean? And you keep them, you know, in the tuck close to you. You know what I mean? You know, speak on it, brother.
Ooh. You know, first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, respect to the family. You know what I mean? To the son. Feel me, brother Kyrie. Man, my phone about to go dead. I'm trying to charge it up. Hold tight. Making sure I ain't trying to miss nothing.
Take your time. Take your time.
So that had me in. Okay. So first that song, right? H. Brown. Tut hit me up and he said Baba Bilal Sunni Ali. You feel me? Which is another great ancestor at the moment. Wanted a song for H. Brown. He needed it in like 2 weeks. So they had the IJAN committee and they was pushing the release. You know what I mean? They was going state to state, man. They had a lot of campaigning to free H. Brown. You know, so when I wrote the song, I had no idea that I would be performing it as much as I did, and that it would become what it was to some. My only regret is not releasing it on our streaming platforms. You feel me? But to God, Shay Black was able to shoot a video for me. But again, performing that song for the past 5, 6 years at different rallies for Imam Jamil Al-Amin. That song had a lot of meaning, you know. So when I got the call from you, I didn't realize how much it meant to me, you know, because I was just, you know, but I'm so used to saying, you know, how he been locked up for 20 years, 22 years, 20, you know what I'm saying, 23 years, and how his fire was still burning, you know. So to get that call was, you know, like right now, because I wasn't expecting this question, you feel me, right now it kind of got me a little shook up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was definitely an honor to write and perform. And I most definitely will continue to perform it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to continue to perform it. But yeah, like it feel good. The first time I performed the song, actually, the first time I performed it, Baba Mukasa Dada, Willie Ricks, came up to me and said, "Hey, you know, I used to work with H-Rap, right? I forgot what position he said he held with him. Then he told me that my raps reminded him of his political speeches from the 60s. Right? So I said, oh yeah. I said, well, look, then I'm gonna write a song about you. He said, okay, African, Google me. When I Googled Mukasa Dada, man. So I'm gonna be performing that at the Marcus Garvey Fest this year. You feel me? The good brother Red Fidel gonna be performing too, but Mukasa Dada gonna be the headline speaker. So, you know, it's an honor to perform that. But yeah, man, once he told me my raps reminded him of his speeches from the 60s, I knew I was doing something right. You know, so I'm gonna continue to speak out. You feel me, to use my voice in that manner.
Yeah. Anray 360, man. I got something fly for you, man. I'm telling you.
I say yo.
And your clan, I'm telling you, I have never seen a clan so devoted to whatever the clan is doing. You understand what I'm saying? Your family, your queen, your children. If it's Eagles, we all Eagles. You understand what I'm saying? Like I have to start there first because y'all already understand. Whatever y'all are doing as a unit. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't contrived. It ain't photographed. It ain't for the moment. Like, yo, this is a photo op situation. It's genuine love. And the essence of the soul that's provided in your music is knowing that you and your family do this as one. Like what is that like, you know, as an original man, as a black man, you know, to have the support of your family in the way that you do? And what's kind of way that you think that we can project that out? I know everybody here got amazing support system. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't see them all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't see them all in action. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw the question back to you because I could close my eyes and see the whole fam. You understand what I'm saying? I could close my eyes and see the whole fam. So, you know, how important has that been for you in your development, you know, writing, reaching out, community circles, your circle of trust, everybody, everything, you know what I'm saying? Your family at the core, support and backing and standing tall, 10 toes. I think they got 11 toes. You understand what I'm saying? Or what you do.
Man, it's so important to me, brother Knowledge Born, and that's why I was speaking earlier. I said, the 360 experiences, everybody who's poured into me, everybody who's helped me along this journey, everybody who's contributed to me in some form or fashion to make me what I am, and my family is the biggest part of that. That's no matter what I'm doing out there in the world and at my 9 to 5, traveling and doing shows, interviews, when I come back to my home, that's my place of peace. Like when Malcolm X would go out there and do his speeches, when he go out there and be on the front line, challenging the beast and the news reporters and the media and the police, he would go back home to his place of peace, and his place of peace was with his family, and they played a supporting role in his life. They made sure that when he came home, he didn't have to worry about what was going on outdoors. This family time. Sit down and get a hot meal, sit down and get some of this good conversation, and get loved on. So my family moving with me with everything I do is very instrumental in my success. And it's very important that I put that out there through my music, how important my family is and how important the family should be, because the African village, the nation, starts first in the household, in the family, in each individual family. You can do whatever you want outside, you know what I mean? But what really goes on inside eventually is going to come to light as well. So we like to share, what I mean, we don't put out everything that we going through sometimes online. You might see somebody say, "Yo, pray for my family." We just lost a loved one and stuff like that. But we go through so much more throughout, the everyday struggle here in the beast as, you know, prisoners of war. I mean, living behind enemy lines. And I hate to say behind enemy lines sometimes, because this is our land too. We know we come from the motherland, but this whole planet is ours. This is original man, original woman's planet. You know, that's why they only came about and evolved into existence 6,000 years ago. We've been here. They say that the Earth is 4 billion years old, but they say we're in 2026. How does that match up? The Earth is older than 4 billion years, and we older than that. You know what I mean? But so the family is the center, the root. When we pour out libations, we say we pour out to the 7 directions. We pour out to the north, the south, the east, the west, the above, the below, and to the center that dwells in all of us. You know what I mean? The family is the center. That's the core. That's where we came from, and that's what we expand and move outwards from. And the biggest part of my family to me, outside of my wife, of course, I don't want to exclude my wife, but my son. In the solar system, the center of the solar system is the sun. That's the light. That's the one that's gonna carry the torch. And he's been performing with the Mighty Vengers. Shout out to the Vengers. He's been performing with the Mighty Vengers. He's been performing with me. He's performing with the Solarians now. And he's doing his own thing on his own stage now, and doing great things. So when I see that, it inspires me to keep going, because I know I'm doing something right, because he's not doing nonsense music. He's being a kid still and enjoying himself, but he's spitting lyrics and he has fun doing it and he loves doing it. He loves touching the people. So seeing the family move together as one, on all fronts, it's tremendous, the benefits that you get from that.
Raza Luke.
Salute.
I kicked it off with Anray, but I know all y'all families. I ain't about to get slapped upside the head by neither one of or super saged or nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm asking y'all both the same question, Mike and Red Fidel. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no smoke with neither one of them. Okay.
What's the question again?
With the family, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, both of y'all got people in y'all corner that support y'all. 11 toes, 12 toes down. You know what I'm saying? What does that feel like after so much? You know what I mean? So many things you go through.
Man, it's just to kind of echo 360. It's tremendous. It's a good feeling, especially when it feels good when it's really not expected. I think that's the biggest feeling, when it's not expected. And for me, just being an artist and getting back out here expressing, my God-given talent, when you see people come support you, that is really when it starts to really show, like, wow, people really not only are behind you, but they really they love that you love what you're doing. And that's when when you see that people love that you love what you do, that's real support. And then most of all, that's real love. And to me, and I don't even see it in my blood family. Like, I got more people that are not my blood, that are just like my true family as well. They're friends. They got love for me as a person, as a friend, and as a brother. And at the same time, from my artistic places, it resonates the same. So everything Henri said, I feel the same way. And even his family, like, I feel like Anray family is my family as well. His wife is like a sister. Hootie is. I got love for Hootie. Like, that's my little son. I'm trying to pen some songs for him. You know what I'm saying? I want to pen some songs for him. So it's like, yeah, definitely that. So it's real, man. It's real when the stars align it and the universe ordains it. Real talk.
Mike
Yeah.
Chambers.
All right. So yeah, it's very important because once again, look at the way they trying to break down this member, the black family. You know what I mean? It's rare you see families in supporting roles, in loving situations. I know I'm very specific and critical about the TV and the movies that I watch because a lot of them always show dysfunctional black families. Shout out to Eddie Griffin because his dysfunctional family was a hit to me. You know what I mean? But it's very important to have family, whether it is biological or not. Whether you have a group, whether you have sons, whether you have daughters, it's very important to have that interaction and to show it in a positive light. You feel me? Like Anray said, it's not that we don't go through things. You know what I mean? Because everybody's gonna go through something, but it's important on how those situations are handled and resolved, and the respect maintaining, making sure the love and the respect is still maintained. But yeah, like Red said, we all family. Our Anray family always gonna be there in full force. Like he said, man, feel like we all just, a happy family when we get together again. The family, the more families you have, then you start putting them tribes together, then you start putting them communities together. So again, if we nation building, you gotta have the black family, and like they say, that's man, woman, and child. That child gonna be either male or female, but it's man, woman, and child. Understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, black family is very important.
And I would like to add something that just hit me. I think too would make it really important, especially let's say Henri, because he has young children, and the fact that me and Mike Sundiata and a collective of other brothers, we know his family in that regard. I think it really crystallizes itself when you got young children, but the people you got around them, you feel secure and safe enough to that if your presence wasn't there, they gonna step in and still be, let's just say, moral enforcers to your seeds, and you don't have a problem with that. They're not gonna steer them wrong. They gonna pick right up where you left off at. I already know if Hootie around me, then I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna treat him the same with the same love and give him the same values if he's not there. Mike gonna do the same thing and so forth. And that's when you got family around you and not just people or associates, people that's gonna actually step in and assume the shoes and assume the role without missing the beat. That's what I consider real. Because if I had young ones, I want to make sure that Mike don't instill in my seed what I wouldn't instill in them if I wasn't present. Anray gonna instill in them, and we gonna treat them as such. And the seed's gonna look at them like that. They not gonna look at them like, oh, that's Bob, our friend. That's gonna be Uncle Mike. That's Uncle Anray. You know what I'm saying? That's such and such. That's the reverence they need to have for him. And that's what true village ties into play. That's what I come from. That's what I consider, that real friendship like that. Seriously. So I just wanted to add that because I was thinking about that when Mike was saying what he was saying.
Yo, I like that title. That's a title to a song. That word you said, moral enforcers. We might do a song called "Moral Enforcers," Mike and Red. That's dope.
There you go.
All right.
There we go. We're gonna talk about some music. We're gonna talk about the soul Aquarian vibe I heard through the grapevine exists. You know what I'm saying? Anray gonna tell us about this 360 experience. He got in the tuck over here. You know what I'm saying? Like a beautiful plethora of music. But I want to play a couple of the joints, a couple of these soul Aquarian joints. You know what I'm saying? Then we come back and talk some real music. You know what I'm saying? Because we got some music heads in here, so I'm gonna get a little controversial in a little bit.
All right, cool.
Controversial.
All right, run it.
My message is pure from the start. My soul and my heart synchronizes together, revealing the holiest parts. There's a level with devils, to them I say no in regards to the spiritual raping that comes with not knowing my parts. My focus is centered, I'm aiming, throwing my darts. Even if hidden truth is a light that'll glow in the dark. A builder and vessel, but I'm more of a Noah than Ark. Success is the fruit of the tree from me sowing my art. In the soil of rhythm, through the toil of living, my bread is the word I avoid from giving you spoiled provisions. Needless to say that what I'm conveying's light in conversation, but if my mental's boxing your mental, I'm overweight at the weigh-in. Hold up, let me clarify that I'm thankful, reaping blessings from angels, those celestial angles. Saying nothing is saying something at the same time. Both coexist on the quantum level, so blame the divine. We've been given a light that began with a spark. Every lyric we write is opposite of the dark. When the feeling is right, we co-conspire with God to give our people the light, to solar power their heart. We're thankful, so thankful and grateful, so grateful to be here sharing our gift with you. We love to impart outer dimension wisdom, Akashic from the stars.
I'm thankful for my sons, I'm thankful for my wife, I'm thankful for my daughter, grandkids, I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for this walk that you gave me bearing the light. The days I made it to after long turbulent nights. I'm thankful for knowing what's wrong versus what's right, and for guidance over pits full of snakes, envy and strife. I'm thankful for true friends who help keep it together, who when in need of words will tell you it will be better. The soul fam I share on this road, and love forever. When on the scales of my eye, heart's light as a feather. The downloads and dreams, music coming in streams. Teams on a dean who rage against the machine. Examples by Malcolm X who said by any means, the portals and nourishers, divine feminine queens. For sacrifices made, the ones who forever stay in the midst of the brigades and those throwing grenades. I'm thankful.
We've been given a light that began with a spark. Every lyric we write is opposite of the dark. When the feeling is right, we co-conspire with God to give our people the light, to solar power their heart. We're thankful, so thankful and grateful, so grateful to be here sharing our gift with you. We love to impart outer dimension wisdom, Akashic from the stars.
outermost regions of a star system near you. The Solarians are coming. What? The Solarians are coming. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. 4 levels of lightning bolts struck the continent 4 times, from 4 chords deep in the mind in core time. Before lines of the mental that form rhymes with storm fronts on the rise in the distance that spawn mine. It's long lines that's been waiting on all sides to get to see the birth of creation from more high. I'm a giant in the world of dwarfs, a gargantuan with war reports, the black nebula before the source. I hold a torch with a torrid force, and with no recourse I treat the flow like it's a water sport. This the fire from the side of the earth that shook the walls of the temples, engulfed in the birth. Superman with a rifle couldn't stop the recitals of rockets being launched at my rivals, cause I'm liable. My idols, a guy with the tongue to ruin survival, 2 boars locking horns in a storm and fighting a rhino. If I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu.
I was born under sun that shines, under the number 9, one of another kind, and none to be undermined. Vibranium algorithms working my mental, engrafting deep aphorisms that flourish on instrumentals. I got a call from 360 the God to spit some larva on the track via the grittiest bars. Solarians with the vestiges from cities on Mars. My woman's the earth inside of her is a city of gods. How many times I gotta give you the truth? I've constantly done it, guess you could say I did what I do, and the hook is the proof. Real kings, no rooks in my crew, always visualizing what's done and never looking to do. That's right. Unlike these other yappers disguising themselves as rappers, the real degree is MC, that's when the skill is mastered. Until then we are the before and the here and after. Apocalyptic with this, witness the realest rapture.
If I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. I caused war and made the pyramids stand on tilt. The real jewels been rediscovered, get your rabbi killed. I'm Patal in the place of a star, shaking the wall somewhere in the 5th dimension, embracing the law with the face of a saw. In many lives I came and evolved and strolled through the dimensions where danger belong. The voice of a man with his trachea torn, not of the norm, from where Enlil when Inky was born.
Yeah, blacker than colors combined is the God in my mind. Facts smother all of the lies in the dark and disguised as truth, but are poisonous vines that we find intertwined into shapes that form our collective deceptive design. Through sigils that trigger our thoughts cause we're consciously blind, subconsciously wielding the thoughts that encompass our lives. My spirit's divine, I must get back to honoring mine. Lights on the clock, death is the state of conquering time.
If I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu. Yo, if I did what I did, what I do for me and my crew, you would know I'm as sick as the flu.
In the 1970s, as he served a prison sentence for armed robbery, H. Rap Brown became a Muslim and changed his name to Jamil Al-Amin. On March 16, 2000, at 10 o'clock at night, Fulton County Sheriff deputies served a warrant for Al-Amin, a missed court date on a traffic charge. A man who pulled up in a Mercedes near Al-Amin's house
shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, known as SNCC, formulated in the 60s. The height of civil rights erupt in the city streets. No justice, just fighting for the liberty. Arrested for riots, but not before you heard the cry. Violence is American as cherry pie. Serving as minister of justice before the Panther Partnership end in abruptness. Organizing against racial attacks. Armed self-defense for a nation of blacks. With presidents he sat. Enforced potent gas. Organized registered voting acts. The young and passionate often will become activists. Killed by guns of savages. Far from pacifists. Clashing with racist nationalists. Government run by capitalists. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. Wanted and taunted by the FBI. Brown shot by a deputy and left to die. No answer needed, no question why. Just to survive, decided it was best he hide. OT, lay low obviously. Regroup and retroop possibly. A year later, shootout with NYPD. Arrested, convicted, attempted robbery. Upstate in Attica for 5 years. Guess the time helped get his mind clear. Reset the revolutionary pioneer. Came home strong with refined ideas. Converted to Islam on his deen. H. Brown, not Imam Jamil Al-Amin. Moved to Atlanta, new on the scene. Opened the grocery store, got the community clean. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. A decade later, the year is 2K. Serving a warrant for failure to appear to his case. Supposedly deputies leaving his place. He was headed home, they meet him face to face. 2 cops shot, one was dead. From the hospital bed, mumbled and said, Jamil Al-Amin, the gunman alleged. Captured in Alabama on the run, he fled. Still in possession of the murder weapon. Body armor dressing for further protection. No alibi, whereabouts, words in question. Charged and convicted, no heard confessions. Sentence, life, no parole. 24 hours locked tight in a hole. 20 years later, hoping the fight will turn in old. Light barrels keep fire burning in they soul. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown. Cool cat, black shades, afro crown. Calm and collected, speaking that profound. Vanguard, front line, and one back down. Pause then poetic, H-rap brown.
Righteous natural verse Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll, righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll.
I was mixed with a lion, I came from Orion. I fought with the triad of Zeus, holding the iron. Saw go with the Armex, spar with the Mayans. On planes where the alien spacecrafts was lying. DNA of the diamonds, vibrational frequency of highest resonance ever heard. From where the ethers be, my crystals, my mental. It gathers sunlight and redirects it to a vibration meant to protect and uplift you. The face of the jackal fighting elephant men on a frequency of energy ahead of the wind. Melanin receptacles, angelic within, telling stories of Thanagarians with various limbs. Outside the planetary realm was expelled the beings who was cast out of heaven and made hell. 9 feet tall and stature with hangnails, with knowledge of how to travel dimensions and rain shells.
Righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll, righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll.
Rare specimens we represent, big stepping like we Nephilim. Big blessings is protecting him, quick lessons if you step to him. Escalator trips like the Jefferson, you out your element. Don't get heaven sent, we need you on earth for its betterment. Suicide I wouldn't recommend. Foolish pride, that's your detriment. You chatty patties need a peppermint. You talking shit, expressing negligence. I mix the messaging, turning pestilence into medicine. I represent the elements. Gold hues in my melanin. Boat shoes when I'm stepping in. Whole crews leave no evidence. Once you let the naturals in, we wrestling controls from the old guard who didn't represent. We fixed like a pole star. This for your blessings in, you and your whole squad. Now let the record spin. Oh God, arrest the president, him and his whole squad.
Righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll, righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll.
I navigated the west wind, crashed into Tiamat. Grafted men of the Nephilim, are they which we are not? The original brethren, we are in Vidala. Solar power, Solarians, we are in Be About. Work of the cosmos on this third dimensional, exerting the utmost through the word intentional. Hurry, come up close to hear the hidden subliminals, unearthed it like the most by insidious criminal. History thieves, robbing from Phoenicia to Thebes and killing regimes. Nakash blood lives in their genes, but nevertheless, as natures, it's the light we possess. As part man plus divine, natural in the flesh. I'm giving you less, to give you anything is too much. To give is to bless, therefore I offer more you can touch. In conclusion, this is a scroll from my tablet of thought, a necessary message of gold I had in the vault.
Righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll, righteous natural versus Nephilim, who bred with wretched men, looking to rep again, warn all your brethren. Yeah, and we've been waiting on the reckoning. This the truth, we the gods, first Dr. Jekyll is.
Fallen angels, we all entangled with light and dark. Find your spark and keep your flame lit. We bang with the sword and the scepters, tall as netches. It's what you call a lecture. We what you call professors. Raised off X. How many days are left? Is it revelation? Then what's with all the celebrations? Anything that's escaping the matrix, people want it in rotation with no hesitation. The giants fell, they reside in hell. I'm an earth angel drinking from Zion's well. Mind blown, I'm a rhinestone in Orion's belt. On trial for my life, no YSL.
I know I
sir.
couldn't play just one song. You understand what I'm saying? I had to give the melody. You know what I'm saying? I had
That was
to get
powerful music, man. That was
Man, what?
oof. Mike, that was
I,
that was
I
powerful.
can't say like, yo, these are my favorite performers, and don't give them a little sample. You understand what I'm saying? Give them a little sample. It's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Got to get their minds ready.
Do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That righteous natural. Oof, that was a strong song, Anray. Good Lord,
Yeah, man.
that was a strong song.
Yeah, it was. It was. All of them. All of them. All of them. Woo.
Definitely.
It started off the set.
Shit.
So grateful.
So what's it like actually working with each other, man? Y'all collaborating and doing like, what is that experience like behind the scenes? Away from the stages, away from the mic. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? Because Mike's stay in the chamber. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. Well, for me to work with them brothers, I learned real quick. Don't be playing. You know what I mean? Like, you heard Red say my style be real simple. You feel me? So I might really go up in there on some ABC, right? And then them cats will be done said supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. And I'll be like, damn. For real though. You know what I mean? But they keep me sharp, man. They keep me on my toes. You gotta pardon me because I'm on the move. But they keep me sharp. You feel me? They keep me on my toes. It's an honor to work with them. You know what I mean? Just the creativity. But how they put work together, the way they put it together, man, it's so quick, so effortlessly. You know what I mean? Man, the creativity, the passion, you know what I mean? The love, just everything they do. It's a pleasure to be motivated by them, man. I often talk about the importance of our peer programming. So we see with different things going on. If you got some negative peer, you see the influence. You know what I mean? That's going to have, but if you have some positive peers in your circle too, such as these brothers, you see the influence that'll have. So you know what I mean? It's very important to be inspired in a positive manner by your peers. So when I work with these brothers, you know what I mean? Just the inspiration. I'm thankful to have that.
That feeling is definitely mutual, Conrad. It's definitely mutual. I could totally attest to that. I also think that like when we all together, for me, it's like a positive competitiveness. It's like we
That
pushing
feeling
each.
is mutual too, Mike.
Yeah, and all that is mutual. Me and Anray, we often tease each other like that. Like if we working on a new song or he'll present a beat to me, he might lead a conversation saying, "Hey, you better have your joint on too. You better be ready." That kind of little stuff just be amping you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that positive push gonna go on, and I feel like when we all in the studio, or even if it's Avengers, like, we pushing each other. Those who don't push each other they just get pushed to the side, or they get pushed. They get pushed in a way where, hey man, it's like somebody getting bullied, but it's a good bully. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
it's got to work like that. Because at the end of the day, man, like you my friend, but when we in the ring, hey man, we boxing. We boxing, bro. It's just the only way I know to stay tight.
Yeah.
I ain't here to hold your hand. They ain't here to hold my hand. Like, you got to roll with it. But together, we hold hands and go against any force, any opposing force. Anybody think they got us, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. You know how you could say something about your brother, but can't nobody else say nothing about your brother.
Real.
You know how it go.
That's real talk, you
But
know.
while we wait for Anray to get back on, Mike, I got another one of them questions for you, man. Malik Kalam, man. Malik Kalam.
Woo! So, okay, so once again, before we went live, when I were asking Red Fidel how he how he became Red Fidel, and he was talking about Jahala. So I used to be at home listening to 89.3 WRFG, rough, rugged, and raw. And his brother named Malik Kalam used to come on the air, man. He was so black and so proud and so strong. And he sounded like he came straight from the hood, but was very intelligent and would make sure he would honor ancestors. Give a shout out to the political prisoners. Knew a lot of people. And he used to play his music on the air. And there was a lot of songs with him and this guy named Jahala that he used to play. You know, fly high. Oh, how I wish I could fly high. You know what I mean? Sky. You know what I'm talking about, Red?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he used to play a lot of music with him and Jahala. And out of all the shows I listened to, his resonated a lot with me. And he challenged MCs. He would play your music if you took it to the station. And he challenged them one time because they just bring it raw. And it would be raw and uncut. So he challenged them to make one song with no curses. So I was home in North Carolina one time, and I just left the studio. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy, Frank B, you know, my first DJ, my brethren. And, you know, the song wasn't really children friendly. And I was washing my car, and my mom and my niece came out, and I had to turn my music down, and I thought about Malik, what he said. So I was like, you know what? If I can't make music that my mom and my niece can listen to, going back to what we were talking about with Anray, if we can't make family-orientated music, you know, might not need to be making music. So anyway, fast forward, I recorded 13 songs, pulled up to a Marcus Garvey Fest in 2000. Malik Kalam was there. My brethren, JQ, had introduced me to him, pointed him out to me. I gave him my CD. On a Saturday, his show came on Wednesday night. He was playing it. He played a song that Wednesday on the air. You feel me? I was amped. I called him. He said, come down to the station. I said, I'll be down there next week. Went down that next week. Been riding with him ever since. Because of him, I actually started making beats, quote unquote, producing, because he would ask for instrumentals. Whenever he have guests there, he would ask for instrumentals so he could do his style-free session. And everybody was always fronting with the beats. So I bought an MPC. My brethren, Jared Jedi, taught me how to use it, plugged mine up beside his, started making beats. Every time I make a beat CD, I give it to Malik. Bam, we'd be live on the air. You feel me? Freestyling. You know, I was introduced to Zaid Malik and Big Nail through him. You feel me? Outlaw RBGs. You know, that's how that formed. I was introduced to Sunyata the Great through him. You know what I mean? Baba Bilal, I was stamped through Malik Kalam. Like, yo, Malik Kalam was an inspiration. See, man, you done hit me with another one of them damn questions, bro. You feel me? Because you got me speaking about my ancestors who really meant something to me and who still mean something to me. You know what I mean? But Malik Kalam was my bro, son. You know what I mean? Um, One of the realest cats I ever met, man. I admire his transition from the street to the conscious. You feel me? Going back to what we were saying about Anray 360. He was full circle. You know, like I said, listening to him and Red. Once I find out who Red was, I was like, man, you know how much y'all music meant to me, how much y'all music impacted the way I make music right now. Because it was conscious, but it was fly, it was still hip, it was still street, it was still God-like. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, Malik Kalam, man, that was my, you feel me? That's forever gonna be my big bro right there, man, on a whole nother level. You know, and even when I look at the Vengeance, a lot of those members I know because of Malik. You know what I mean? Yeah, I met Tut because of Malik. You know what I mean? Just a lot of people in the community. You know, I became a member of the UNIA because of Malik. I met Ross Marvin, like, yo, you know, Malik was that dude, man. He was that plug. You feel me? Met Terry Miller. You know what I mean? Just a lot of good brothers. K2. You know what I mean? I met a lot of good brothers through, man. A lot of, man. Miami Rod, just a lot of brothers. You know what I mean? And sisters as well, man. He got a lot of respect. He got a lot of hate too, but he got a lot of respect as well. But yeah, man, that was my bro, Malik Kalam. Malik Kalam bombs. You feel me? Long live King Bullion. You know, my bad. I ain't mean to take it there, but yeah, man. Yeah, that was my bro, man. That was my big bro. For real. Yeah.
Malik Kalam dropping bombs, man. I had to drop a bomb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it to Anray real quick.
Yeah.
Anray, you had a young brother that you were guiding. You know, y'all know I don't like that word mentor. You understand what I'm saying? He's now one of our ancestors, you know, young warrior we all met up with and loved on, you know what I mean? A larger than life heart persona, you know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you about the young brother and, you know, and his family. You know, we did a show dedicated to him as well here together on, you know, Dudenhouse Radio. And, you know, the side note question before you got cut off was, what's it like working with the brothers behind the scenes?
Ooh. So I'll answer, you know, the question of what's it like working with the brothers behind the scenes first. And I'll say it's incredible, it's inspirational. Like both of these brothers just said, they've been a major influence on the way I make music as well. When I first heard Red Fidel, and you know, like we studied earlier in the interview, introduced me in Red Fidel. And when I got a chance to listen to his music, I was like, okay, all right, you know, I'm like, he got some stuff. Then, you know what, some things don't hit you right away. Over time, you know, because I would listen to albums back in the day, even with Pac, and one song would stand out to me, and I would listen to that song over and over again and bang it. I would skim through the other songs, but as you get to sit and you drive and you riding and you start really hearing the other songs as they playing, it's like, wait a minute, what did he say there? I'm rewinding it, and Red has that type of content in his music that you got to rewind the stuff. You know what I mean? 'Cause you be like, he's not gonna say some just surface level stuff. You know, he gonna ride the surface, but then he gonna take you. He be like, he gonna whisper to you. You might not even hear him whisper it to you, but he talking to you, and he like, prepare where I need you to prepare for we about to go under. We about to go deep. We about to go far out. And Red will take you on that journey. And as I started listening to more of his music, I was like, this dude is a phenomenal artist. And we started showing up at each other's shows, doing stuff with the Avengers and the whole nine. And we started to get closer and closer, and we started talking. And of course, eventually we decided to do a group project. We wanted to do one or two songs. And we said, yo, let's just do a group project. And working behind the scenes with a brother that is so gifted with his pen, not just because he has the gift of gab, but because he's intentional. He's intentional with what he's going to put down. He don't want to just put down some hot hip hop. At one time when I was doing this music, I just wanted to be one of the hottest lyricists. I wanted to make my mark as a hot lyricist, like the Cool G Raps, like the KRS-Ones, like the Rakims who influenced me. And Rakim dropped knowledge. KRS-One dropped knowledge. Rakim dropped science. RZA, people like that influenced me. Tupac, because he stood for something. As a child of a Black Panther. So I wanted to touch the people as well. And when you are around other people who are doing that, through their music, you're behind the scenes with them, it's going to rub off on you. And if it's already in you, it's just going to spark that flame even to burn even brighter that you already have inside of you. I tell people, they ask me about the crystals and the gemstones that I wear and that I carry. And I tell them they come from the earth. We come from the earth. So everything that's inside the earth is inside of us in small trace amounts. So when we wear our crystals, when we wear those amulets, when we wear those gemstones, those minerals, all we are doing is amplifying the powers that they already have, that are already inside of us, that we already have inside of us. They are amplifying what we already have when we wear those crystals, the gemstones and all that stuff. So we're, in essence, wearing ourselves all over again. And we're charging what we already have inside of us. Those earthian, batteries, those solar energy centers that's inside of us that we call chakras. You know what I'm saying? We're charging them. We're amplifying those powers. And that's what these brothers do to me. They are gemstones. They are gems in the game. They are rare gems, and they charge me whenever I'm around them. You can't help but be inspired by people. That song you played by Mike, H. Rap Brown, I listened to it so many times, and I'm just like, every time I hear it, I'm just blown away the way he told that story. We can only hope that one day someone will tell our story that way as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We can only hope that somebody one day will tell our story, because we don't just do this just for views. I could have been sold out and did what these record labels wanted me to do back in 98, 99, when I was messing with Epic Records, when I was messing with Def Jam, when I was messing with other, being courted by Sony Music. We could have been sold out and did other things. Jahala, aka Red Fidel, was rubbing elbows with some of the biggest people, including CeeLo Green, that made it big in the industry. And he could have took a whole different route. But we're here for something bigger than just the fortune and the fame. Because most of those people that attain that fortune and fame, they attained it by selling out our people, by misleading our people, by misguiding our people and pushing a poisonous rhetoric out to our people. It's important that we be intentional with our music, that we be the deterrent going against the current. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We are the deterrents going against the current. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Red.
No, I was just saying I like that. I like what you said. Deterrent going against the current. That's hot.
Yeah, that's what we are. We got to combat the poison. You know what I mean? They'll tell you in mainstream society, you got infected with this, so now we got to inject you with this vaccine. And we know them vaccines ain't good. Most of them vaccines did more damage to our community than they did anything, good for us. They were never intended to do anything good for us. But in the conscious community, we know that we are the real dosage of truth, the real dosage of right knowledge. You know what I mean? The real dosage of higher vibration through music sonically. We are those combatants. We just doing it in another way than H. Rap Brown did it, in another way than Fred Hampton did it, in another way than Malcolm X, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Dr. Sebi, and so many before us, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Asada Shakur, all of them soaring power. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We are doing that through music now. You know what I mean? And music is the highest form of communication. So we are addressing this stuff in a way that people can enjoy it, but absorb it in a manner where they don't even realize they absorbed it until they've already absorbed it. Now they in it. They got to go do the research and look up what we talking about,
Yeah.
and now they in love with it because they get fed by three of the greats. You know what I mean? Alongside our Avengers brothers and so many others like OBFC. You know what I mean? United Front. Rock and Musa. You know what I mean? And so many others that's doing it. Out there that. Shout out to Bomani and Shay Black. You know what I mean? And people that's been doing it for a while. So we the ones that's doing it in the present alongside them. That's going to be the antidote to the poison that's being pushed out to our people. So making music with these brothers behind the scenes is incredible. It's incredible. And I ain't mean to go on a rant, y'all, but part two, the brother that we lost, that we took under our wing when he was only 16 years old, caught up in them streets. That's why we do it. This is why we do it, because the poison that's being pushed out to them, they think that the streets is the way. To be hanging out and joining gangs is the way. They think that banging on somebody that looks like you is the way. That's a manufactured culture of death that's been pushed to our people, promoted to our people. You know what I'm saying? And it's being pushed through TV, it's being pushed through music, it's being pushed, in person, out in real life. They're getting them to sell you sell these drugs, you're gonna get this money. You know what I mean? And when our people are talking about picking up guns, they're not, the masses of our people are talking about picking up guns and shooting each other. How foolish is that? How senseless is that? How mad is that? Frankenstein monsters. You know what I mean? Mindless beings. They're not even alive. They're the living dead. They walk around like this, trying to kill each other. And we got to be the ones to right the ship, to point out that that's wrong, to point out that we've been fed a poison, a culture that's poisonous and toxic, to our communities, to our people, to our nation, So, the brother Soar and Power JC, he was a good brother. He was a real good brother. And he was just trying to find his way, but he couldn't leave those streets alone. And it ultimately cost him his life. So, of course it was a bad blow, to us, to get that phone call. I'm still close with his family to this day. And we want to try to make sure that we put out something that's going to try to deter as many as possible from taking that same path. Walking down that same road that's going to lead to self-destruction, that's going to lead to death, that's going to lead to prison, that's going to lead to being strung out on drugs. So, yeah, so empowered at JC. Jeremiah Cunningham, let me say his name, Jeremiah Cunningham. We called him JC.
So let me get on my Mike Chambers real quick, Red Fidel. Mike Chambers, so what made you choose that name? And let's talk Red Fidel, let's talk Anray 360, let's talk Soul Quarians, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk to the people, man, before we end off with the show lineup and everything.
All right, what made me choose that name? It was kind of hard, man, because I hadn't been that name Jahala for so long, and Jahala, actually, man, it's kind of like I went through a few names just throughout the tenure of my rap journey. When I first started, it's funny. When I first started, I had made my first record with my partner and blah. We was like 15, 16. We used to call each other night and day, because he was real dark skinned. So of course he was night, I was day. He just little kids with their little observations. So, and that's when posse was the word. So we had a big clique. Our group was called Night and Day and the Money Prone Posse. We swear we was getting money. Ain't none of us had no money. But we was the money prone posse. So we was just out there scrambling, getting our little nickels on. We was doing what we was doing. And then from there, the group disbanded because no one really shared the intrinsic love I had for it. Like I truly, when I got him the first time I was, made a record and I got in the studio. It was truly love at first mic for me. You know, it really was. I found that thing that really woke me up. I mean, because I was sports heavy, so that really woke me up. So when the group kind of disbanded, I went solo. And my first solo name was CeeLo. CeeLo was my first solo. I go to home to Miami right now. Some cats still call me Lo. They be, what up, Lo? Because they remember me when I was young. I used to go by CeeLo. And it was crazy. I wasn't conscious yet, but something in me was awakening because I used to go by CeeLo the Suave Negro. I was like 16, and I had this song. I had this song called "CeeLo the Suave Negro," and I used to be performing. I'm the Suave Negro, grow. You know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy. But I wasn't yet there. I was still kind of in the streets of Miami, and it just started transitioning. What happened was I started dancing for a rap group. I used to dance a lot back in the day, and of course the term "dance a jig" was, like an old school term. And this old pop said it one time. Say, "Boy, y'all be dancing a jig, huh?" And it stuck with me, so I started calling myself Jigga. I used to go by Jigga. Like everybody in Miami still call me Jigga. Little do people know, like they know me as Jigga more than they do Jahala. To be honest with you. So I was Jigga. But what happened was I added Jahala to the end of it. So the full name is actually Jigga Jahala. So people in Miami call me Jigga Jahala. They don't just call me the one. They call me Jigga Jahala. So, and the Jigga, but that's when my mind started opening up. So the JIGGA, I had it was an acronym. It stood for Journeying into God's Grand Atmosphere. So I was Jigga, journeying into God's grand atmosphere. At this time, I was starting to get awoke. I was starting to come into consciousness. And then as that transition, I just started, I dropped the Jigga and I just became Jahala. And then Jahala, at this time, Jahala had formed a group called the Black Lions. The Black Lions consisted of me, God bless his soul, who Brother Mike spoke about, me, Malik Kalam, and another cat named Tassan the Flaw. It was three of us. We was the Black Lions. Me, Jahala, Malik Kalam, and Tassan the Flaw. At that time, I was Jahala, known as Khalifa Lasana, because that was what changed my name to Khalifa Lasana. So I was Jahala Khalifa Lasana, and Malik was Malik Kalam. And he actually had another name too. I can't think of it before he really stuck with Malik Kalam. And then Tassan the Flaw was our other homeboy. His name was Jeremiah, but he's called himself Jeremiah the Divine. And then he became Tassan the Flaw, and we was the Black Lions, and we used to be doing our thing. And that kind of transition. But as the years kept going, after my run with different people from CeeLo to all kind of other folk I had the opportunity of doing good work with, I started feeling like the caterpillar wanted to turn into a butterfly. And Jahala was feeling like a straitjacket after a while. It was like I couldn't really fully express the totality of me, not just from the 180 degrees of uprightness, but even 180 degrees of rootedness. So I need to be able to express all of me. And I felt like Jahala was just like I had outgrew what it was about, because I formed that name from the two deities of my influence when I was around 18. I was very into Islam. I became Islamic. And of course, we refer to that deity as Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. And then I was under very, very heavy Rastafarian influence. And of course, we refer to that deity as Jah. So I put the two together to make Jah Allah. And I pronounce it Jahala, but some Rastas will call it Jah Allah. But I made the liaison between the words to say Jahala. And that's how that word came about. So I just was like, man, I say around 2008 and 9 is when I changed it. I was just sitting home. I had lost my job due to, that's when the market crashed, and then it ran off. I got laid off. So I had a lot of time to kind of contemplate and kind of room what I'm going to do. And my career was at a standstill. And I was like, man, I need a fresh start. I need a new me. And I went through a few names, man. I was trying to figure it out because I hadn't changed my name. So I went to, the first name I went to was Monte Cristo. I did a mixtape called Monte Cristo. It's actually a dope mixtape. It was produced by the producer who produced Dear Mama for Tupac. I had got an opportunity to meet a guy named Moses, and come to find out he the one who had produced Dear Mama for Tupac. He was from New York, and we met and just we did a whole mixtape, and I did it under Monte Cristo. I actually still have tangible copies of that. I never put it on streaming or anything. I got to let my comrades hear it. It was pretty interesting. And I only did that under that one moniker for that one CD. but I still wasn't kind of settled on that. I was like, nah, it sound too character like. And then I went through. Then my militant side started leaning again. I was like, nah, but I'm a revolutionary at heart. So I started calling myself Guevara, short for like Che Guevara. I started calling myself Guevara. And I was going through my Guevara stage. I was like, Guevara, I like how that felt. It was kind of leaning more towards what my spirit could resonate with, but it wasn't complete. And then I was in a pool hall one day at Central Station over there on East Point when Central Station used to be open. So we shooting some pool in there, and I'm chilling with some of my comrades. And I was like, man, I'm trying to really come up with a different tone. I need a different tone that's gonna resonate me when it's said. And I just thought about it. I was like, when I was young, people always used to call me Red. Miami, if you light skin, that's like the term red. And I was like, damn, but what can go with it? And I thought about my Cuban ancestry. Still, I was leaning towards Che Guevara because I was thinking about when he and Fidel overthrew Batista to take over Cuba, blah blah blah. I always marveled, and I always kind of like reveled in the acquisition in which they did. That it was like, to me, that's true revolutionary acts and tactic at play. And Fidel just hit me, and I was like, Red Fidel. And I remember asking my comrade, I said, hey man, how this sound? And he said, well, I said, how Red Fidel sound? And he said to me, he said, boy, I like how that sound. It flowed off real smooth. And I said, I'm gonna just hold on to it for a minute. And I just kept saying Red Fidel. And it just that's how I came up with it. And it stuck. So it just stayed. And I like it because it's pretty innocuous. You don't know how I'm gonna come. I could come conscious and it's accepted. I could come, however, outside of what one might deem as being conscious, and it's applicable. So I liked it because it was innocuous and it had a sense of neutrality about it that didn't actually typecast me, stereotype me, or confine me in a box. And that's something that I just didn't want to be in. I kind of like outgrew that. So that comparison I made that, I said it all to say it's a comparison reminds me of Dr. Malachi York, the way he took on so many names from Imam Isa to Amanubi Ruach Patah to all these other names, Rabboni and everything. He took his people through so many different changes, so many spiritual frequencies in order to get to the ultimate truth. And that's what I was going through as a person, as I kept evolving, as I kept growing. It's like I was changing. So with that change comes different tones, different tonations, names, and way you feel. And to hold on, people don't realize a name is a tone. And I was just outgrowing them. And it's like, they couldn't fit me anymore. Those clothes was too tight. So I just had to come out of it. So this suit right here, Red Fidel, is very elastic. It has a lot of plasticity about it, so I can actually stretch either way, and it still fits me good. So, I'm good. I'm good with that, and that's how I came about with it. I know that was long, but that's the full scope of how that all came about. Real talk.
So, Anray, tell us, man. Tell us your part. Tell us your version as a soul querying story. You understand what I'm saying? Tell us your portion. Give us some of your cornbread. Anray, you hear me?
$360.
Yo.
360 had them faded off, y'all.
Nah, I'm sitting there looking, but I seen y'all moving, but I couldn't hear nothing. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, it did that earlier in the broadcast, and I had to.
It probably was muted for a minute.
Yeah, the frequency too high, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, 360. Yeah. The way I came about the name 360, it was a journey pretty much similar to Red's. I was going through the different schools of enlightenment, and spirituality. I was raised as a Christian. As I got into the military, the movie Malcolm X by Spike Lee was getting ready to come out. So the hype and the anticipation about of it, being promoted and the whole night, it made me go get the book. And when I read the book, wow, that Malcolm X autobiography by
Alex Haley.
It changed my life, man. It changed my life. His story. As I read those pages, I pictured and envisioned myself living everything that he was talking. That book was so well written. It was incredible. So when I finally seen the movie didn't do the book any justice at all. Nowhere near because if you read that book and he takes you on a journey. You see it. It's like you there. You know what I mean? You see it in living color through your mind. So and I'm not, the movie was definitely something that was needed. It was necessary, because it's going to reach more people, that because a lot of people, period, don't read as much as they should. So the movie reached a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't have known about the story of Malcolm X because they didn't pick up that book or a book to read about him. Um, but when I first started emceeing and rapping, I was called Chill the MC. And the reason why I called myself Chill the MC because I was laid back, and it was another brother in my school that rapped also, and he called himself Chill. So I had to put it on Chill the MC, and I was ready to battle him for that name. Like, nah, man, you gotta battle me for this name, y'all. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna call yourself Chill? I'm Chill. You know what I mean? But it's funny because I was always into I was into the lyrics. Like I said earlier, loved Rakim, loved Cool G Rap, loved King's Son. You know what I mean? I love BDP, those people, CL Smooth. So when I went into the military and I traveled, I'm known around the world by different places I've been to because I'm an outgoing person. I speak to a lot of people. They know me as Chilled MC. They follow my music, all that stuff. And what made me become 360, Anray 360. Matter of fact, I didn't transition to the Bull V because when I got out of the military, I was actually kicked out of the military because I stood up to a lot of racism that I was witnessing there, a lot of oppression of Black people, mistreatment, um, uh, prejudice. We were being disrespected in there on a level that I've never seen. Like I hear that it wasn't as bad in the Army, but I was in the Navy, and I had never met a racial institution, or institution that was just allowed to commit such racism, outright racism against a group of people. So I felt it was my duty to stand up. I was one who could never shut my mouth. I had to speak up. Tupac said one time, he said, what my problem is? My big mouth. You know what I'm saying? Tupac said, my big mouth. I don't know when to shut up. He was like, but it's also his gift. It's also his blessing, you know. So while other people were saying, man, I got a family to feed and I can't do this and that, and then I had to be the one to stand up. I was the sacrificial lamb. So of course they ousted me from the military for speaking up. I went and read the equal opportunity manual that was in our ship's library, and found out our rights and what we could do, what we couldn't do with the officers of the base and of the ship that I was stationed to, what they could do and what they could not do, and the rules that they had to abide by. And when I found out they were violating certain rules and regulations and codes and statutes, I set out to seek legal representation to go against them and fight the racism and charge them for it accordingly. When of course, when you go tell on a white man in a white institution, all you're doing is telling another white man on the white man. You know what I'm saying? So you're telling their brothers, their uncles, their cousins, their comrades on each other and whose side you think they're going to take. So I found myself getting kicked out the military, and as I was getting kicked out, I became. I thought about the different names, like Red said. He went through a process. Should I be Revenge? Nah. I'm not going to be Revenge. I need to be the actual living, real time, manifestation of payback for them. So I became Vengeance. And that's where the name the Bull V came from, because everybody would call me V. And then some people like, oh, what's up? They go to Bull V. In Philly, we call each other boy. That's my boy. We don't say boy, you know what I'm saying? Because we know we're not boys, we men. We say, that's my boy right there, And people would, call me the Bull V. And V stood for Vengeance. So I went from Shield MC to Vengeance. And then from Vengeance, like Red said, our past is so similar. It's crazy. So it's only fitting that we've joined forces, as well as outside of our solo careers, that we became the Solarians, because the elasticity of the Vengeance suit that I put on, Vengeance, not the group Vengers, Vengeance, me as a solo artist, it wasn't flexible enough for me. I outgrew it. I didn't want to be just operating from a place of payback and anger and just being just totally about retribution. I wanted to speak about things that I love, things that made me laugh, things that made the world go round, things that I was excited about, that I learned and wanted to teach others. And I wanted to touch the soul. My uncle was John Whitehead from the group McFadden and Whitehead, and they sung the song "Ain't No Stopping Us Now." So they represented a label in Philly called that presented to you what we call the sound of Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Gamble and Huff, the sound of Philadelphia. And I wanted to be that sound, not just of Philadelphia, of course, embody the essence of where I came from, my hometown, Philadelphia, but of our people. I wanted to speak to the soul that, we universally, no matter where you was at, when I traveled in the military, I seen in Virginia that they party just like we party. They listen to the same music we listen to. They barbecue just like we barbecue. They seen the same oppression and the same poverty that we did. We hated roaches. We poured boric acid around the corners and the barriers of all of our houses, and you know what I'm saying? To keep the roaches out. So we faced the same struggle and went through the same experiences. We chased the ice cream man down the block. You know what I mean? And I wanted to talk about that type of good stuff. So 360, that's where that came into being. Anray. I took on my actual real name, Anray, which is actually spelled Henri. The H is silent. It's a French name, Henri. That's how they say it in France. And a lot of people, from the Creole background, they say Anray. So my pop was called Anray, by some people. And I took on that name Anray, as my MC name now, and I wanted to be 360 because I was coming full circle, musically, sonically, spiritually, physically, psychologically, the ancestors, the present, us right now who are the ancestors revisited, and those who are coming behind us, as well as mind, body, and soul. 360 degrees. I'm one now. You know what I mean? And I'm the voice of the mind, the voice of this body, the voice of the soul, the voice of the experience of our people, the voice of the future, as well as the present of our people. So 360, it was only right that I be that, and it allowed me to be everything collectively. I could be the rebel, I could be the warrior, I could be the funny person, I could be the loving person, I could be the lyricist, who wanted to test his sword. I could be all of that in 360, and it was the perfect name for me. So I settled on that, and I don't see me going anywhere else. I think this is the totality of who I am outside of course, my Ventures brothers and my partner, Red Fidel, my Solarian brother. And I want to say Solarian. That's the name, Solarian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real. Well, it's interesting. I'm gonna say this before you conclude with commentary, knowledge. When you say I never knew your first name was actually Henri, spelled with the A.
Yeah.
It's a French name, and ironically, my name is a French name. My straw name is Marcel, which is a French. You always hear like in French with Jean Marcel and stuff like that. So yeah, we got those French straw names, and it's crazy because mine came from my dad. My dad was in Vietnam, and the guy he was in Vietnam with fought side by side with his best friend, and that was Marcel, who he never seen when he got out again, and he named me after him. So it's like, it was interesting that I heard you say a French name. Yeah. So
that's dope.
So tell us about this Solarian project, man. The essence of it. We played a couple of
joints. I can't hear you, Knowledge.
Check your mic.
My mic is good.
The mic on?
I can hear you, but I can't hear Knowledge for some reason. I was born. You can hear him, Red?
Yeah, I can hear him good.
Man, I don't know what's up with this. What am I doing?
Say something again. You hear you?
Mic check. Mic check.
You hear him? You hear him already?
Nah, not at all, bro.
No.
I can hear you. I don't know why I can't hear him.
You want to go out and
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Try.
Red, just tell him to talk about the event.
All right. So, well, basically, we have an album out right. The album been out for about a year. We got an album that's out, and like Anray stated earlier, we kind of just came together doing it. We was doing one or two songs together, just as a duo, with no real intention behind creating a group behind it. But the way the songs were going and just how the vibe was, it was kind of inevitable. We was like, you know what? Let's just do a project. So we ended up doing a project called, and we self-titled it the Solarians. And I'm telling you, man, that's one of the most high vibratory projects that I've heard. And I'm not saying it because he and I are the conductors of that train. I'm saying it because truthfully, that album really was real organic in its creation. And it was just one that we didn't really put restraints on. We just did what felt good. And by doing what felt good, it caused the project to really have its own vibration and its own feel about it. And I really, really feel like that's one of the projects to be a classic itself. And it's one of the ones you could continuously listen to throughout the times, and you're going to get a morsel. You're going to get some type of gem from what was said about 360 and what was said by myself. And I just think that that's one of those albums. And even also our features, other people that are on it. Everybody kind of, I ain't going to say kind of, that's like to them. I would just say everyone actually contributed their 360-degree of expression as well. So it's just a really well-rounded dope album. I really, really like that album. Really like that album. And I'm a critic on anything I do. And that's one of the ones I actually say, yeah, that's really dope.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, you hear me?
You can hear him already?
Nah, I can hear you still. I don't know what's going on. I done went into the settings and try to see what I can do, but I don't know
It's
what's
all
going on.
good.
Well,
Hey, Red, just ask him about the show. Tell
You
him to
breaking
talk
up,
about
Red?
the
You said
show
what?
hold on.
one more
He
time.
he wants me to ask you about something. What you want me to ask him? Knowledge.
Ask him about the show, July the 10th, Friday, who performing, what time, where, all of the details for the show.
Now to say, let the people know about the show, July 10th. Who's performing? What time? Where is it taking place? And what should they be looking forward to?
Okay. July 10th. I got a lot of support from my brothers earlier in the show, and they was talking about the 360 experience. But like I said, when I got to speak on it, the 360 experience is all of us collectively, man. Like I said, I'm nothing without my brothers, and this show is about all of us coming together and doing our thing. I'm probably going to do a couple more songs than the other performers, because I'm headlining it. But before I started headlining anything, Red was headlining a bunch of shows and setting the standard, setting the bar. So July 10th, I get to join with my brothers on stage, with my brother Red Fidel, my Solarian partner, with Mike Chambers, who will be performing as well. Um, Dr. Kelly Glow, who's a teacher at my son's school, the School of Arts, and she's a very gifted artist, very talented and performer. We will have Mother the Creator in the building. We will have Shasha Martin performing. Yamas Promise, gonna be performing it as well as being a host. We will have also Dame Smith that's gonna be performing. I hope I didn't forget anybody, but it's a lineup that's crazy, that's dope. I got a special guest that's going to come out that nobody knows about right now, except probably for one or two other people. And that person is going to bless the mic for a song as well. And it's going to be, it's called the 360 experience because, like I said, it's going to be an experience, and you get to experience this journey with us in music put on front stage in a show form, and presented to you by some of the dopest and most gifted, artists that's out here, who take pride in our form of artistic expression in its mature adult contemporary hip hop, you know, with a soulful touch and a soulful blend and in an entertaining form where everybody can have a good time and enjoy themselves. Where we don't just get up there and just start doing our songs, performing our songs. Now we engage the crowd. We get the crowd involved. You know, we show love to those who came out and supported us. You know what I mean? And we make sure it's a party. It's a party. And I got that blueprint from Red, just to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Red, you know, when he get up there on stage, you know, I seen how he interacted with the crowd. I was like, wow. You know, you got to take notes from the greats. You know what I mean? When you're around the greatness, you got to take notes, you know. So I'm one who studies and I take notes, and I want to carry it on and raise the bar further. And I know he going to see it and be like, okay, well, I'm taking it further than that, you know, as we should, man. We build off of each other. So the 360 experience is going to be on July 10th. You know, at 4025 Pleasantdale Road. Once again, 4025 Pleasantdale Road in Atlanta, Georgia. All points lead to the 360 experience. Be there 7:30 sharp. You know, the show starts at 8. We going, you know, it's going to be something that you don't want to miss from beginning to end. So if you're coming in late, you might have to be fighting for a seat, and you might miss something good. You know, you definitely gonna miss something good, you know, if you're not there from the start of it, because the way we did this ain't gonna be just some, you know, people hosting a show and introducing people. Nah, this is gonna be very entertaining from beginning to end. You know, everybody's playing a part of this. So I want y'all to be there, as many people that can be there as possible. You know, we would love to have you come through. Once again, July 10th, the 360 experience at 4025 Pleasantdale Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 7:30. Be there.
Thanks.
So I want to thank y'all for coming through. We still got to come back. You know what I'm saying? Tell Anray he got to come back. You and him got to come back, and we got to go through this Solarian project. You know what I'm saying? Get a little breakdown. And
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
If I'm in town, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in town, I'll be in the place to be. You understand what I'm saying? So
it would be an honor to have you, bro. An honor.
Indeed, that'd be really dope. Actually, be the honor to have you and live streaming.
Oh yeah, you know, if I'm here, I got my stuff with me. Red note.
That's what it is, of course.
Red note. So you know, literally right there, and as well, you know, Anray. So honest to y'all both, man. You know what I mean? Honest to y'all, honest to y'all family, honest to y'all legacy, and you know, honest to the future. You know what I mean, so we out for now, man. We'll be back soon.
Salute.
Much love, man. Honest to knowledge. Knowledge Born Radio, El Shay.
July 10th. See y'all there.
Wow.
Once you've heard the madness, everything else is just cheap whiskey.
Most high Christianists, mental abolitionists with the vision gift, seeing the deliverance from the ignorance, cognitive dissonance. Visual, I envision this. On and off the mic, I speak right like this is what the mission is. I know the wisdom biz and overstand like who, know and bear that witnesses. I am the power refined, God man. Equity too high to equal the caveman. God's son, true builder of the land, destroyer of the demons. I'm a poppin' where they stand. Word of biz, born exposing opposal plan. Stevie Vinny, microphone Jones with a forced hand. The next level cipher writer, spark the minds, I light the fire. Call me Mr. Mystifier, I'm used to gift and lift us higher. With the frequency that frequently fit, inspire elders and young thugs that do what they do, where they do what they done. They lazy, they think we dumb. We put the work in system that a system to be numb. Make them good Christians, but don't link them to where they from. So I write rhymes with them ancient guidelines. I fight crime sitting on the sidelines. But when they got the blind eyes, I just treat them like they dumb.
When knowledge get done, unified we're one. The race we run, before them shot that gun.
To the knowledge.
When knowledge get done, unified we won. The race we run, before they shot that gun and run.
To the knowledge.
One's not with me, twist push it loud, get your double shots of yak. Sit down, have a talk with me. I'm from an era where certain shit just couldn't fly. You tell another man, suck your dick, you might die. These new dudes got it confused, thinking it's a game. Until somebody hitting at their ass, bringing the pain. But that's the plan, they want us to kill ourselves. Our existence is up to us, no one else is responsible for raising our daughters and the queens and our sons and the kings. Teaching them everything about necessary tools we need to use for survival. It's way bigger than reading Qurans or the Bible. That's gonna go over the heads of many. Thick skin, homie, I got plenty, so I'll be ready for the backlash and slander coming from my own people. It's sad to say, but we'll never equal our full potential as long as we following what they teach us, telling lies, all in 8 books, it never reach us. At least us, the ones with some knowledge of self. But trying to wake my people up is a struggle with self. Instead of begging for a seat at their table, let's build one. As soon as they try to violate, let's kill one. That's where my heart at. A couple hundred years of the same treatment gave us Obama, so we think we even. I ain't believing none of this bullshit, them puppeteers speaking, telling us lies each and every weekend. Banana in the tailpipe tactics. To tell the truth, I feel we moving backwards. We got a lot of actors playing the part, but it ain't in their heart, so what's it worth? Got brothers dressing up like chicks, toting the purse. Everybody capitalizing off us. We ain't too far from giving up our seat on the back of the bus.
When dollars get done, unified we're one. The race we run, before them shot that gun. When dollars get done, unified we won. The race we run, before they shot that gun.